which is... Oh, my mistake. Ubisoft is opening how many? So we all know Ubisoft as a popular gaming industry that have put out a bunch of really popular games. One of the big names being Assassin's Creed. But now they're opening over 200 locations worldwide for a brand new virtual reality escape room based off of the Assassin's Creed franchise. So that is... wow. And this is a very quiet thing. This was very... I think the article started coming out about this as, like, the rooms were opening. This has been very quiet development. And from what I read in the article as well, these exist in the Assassin's Creed, the game universe, but are different storylines. So this is absolutely...
Can you repeat that?
They exist in the Assassin's Creed universe. So like the story of Assassin's Creed, how all the games and how they progressed. It's everything in that is canonical, but these are kind of like different stories within those universes.
Okay.
It's a 60-minute experience, and they're completely 100% virtual reality escape rooms. So this is amazing. So let me ask you then: do you feel like we as kind of strictly an escape room business have anything to worry about when big names like Ubisoft start getting into the escape room industry?
I mean, it's just, again, with the themes, it's the same thing as the pop culture themed escape rooms. They're going to make a nice splash for themselves because they get to go off of, like, the fan base, but it's also going to be kind of limited to the fan base because...
That's true.
To an extent.
I mean, Assassin's Creed, with the fan base that they have, it's definitely going to be successful. I know Assassin's Creed has multiple games. I even think they made a movie at one point.
I believe they did. I don't think it did very well.
I don't know. I didn't see.
I think it was like Avatar.
Oh, rest in peace. But yeah, so this is, and on top of that, they're completely virtual reality escape rooms. And I've been to like different virtual reality games at different like resorts and arcades and stuff like that. And those aren't really escape room themed. Those are more like put on a helmet and walk through pretty scenery, or like put on a vest and have like a fake toy gun and run around shooting AI programs. This is you are solving puzzles and moving from like room to room, or like opening locked doors and stuff like that.
I mean, I feel like it kind of cheats you out of the experience of getting to do it yourself.
A little bit, but I also feel like it can add the extra layer of immersion as well.
I guess it depends how they do it. Like, if it's basically like you could have just made this set physically, but you chose to do it in virtual reality, like,
that's true.
Why?
At one point, you have to wonder, like, are they taking a step too far? Because, like, in escape rooms, in a normal escape room where it's we'll call it an acoustic escape room. You can pick, you feel yourself like solving the puzzles. You're holding the locks, you're entering the combinations, you're opening doors and stuff like that. So I have to wonder, with virtual reality experience, do you get that same effect, or is it just kind of like you wave your hand in front of a certain thing and I don't know, pretty lights pop up in front of you?
Yeah. Also, we do have a comment. Viva Todd Vegas. As an owner, I get nervous by VR escape rooms in general. I think once someone perfects the technology, they will be big competition for us.
I can definitely see that. Just because when building a regular escape room, I feel like we're limited to what we can build as far as like, you know, set design, putting up walls and stuff like that. And we spare no expense and we don't cut any corners. Every game that we have is 100% immersive. You do have that extra step, or rather extra advantage in VR, just because instead of building hand by hand each wall, you know, and setting up the set design, you click a few things and it's more complicated than that, obviously. I don't know enough to like go into the details of it, but you have more at your disposal, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for certain themes, I could see VR working much better than a physical room, but at the same time, like, there are certain rooms that I just don't think would do as well in VR. Like scenes that aren't particularly, like, amazing or like a jail cell escape room. That's a pretty common one. Like,
okay, yeah, imagine
you can
that
easily
in VR.
recreate that and make it feel so much more real than I also haven't done too much VR, so maybe I'm mistaken with that, but Like, I feel like VR would lend itself to, like, more fantasy and stuff like that, where you can't, or, like, a jungle escape room where it's a lot harder to create the set for that, but at the same time, like, for other rooms, I feel like it wouldn't work as well.
I feel like it'd be like putting $15,000 rims on a '98 like Toyota Corolla. Like it's almost unnecessary to do a VR like simple escape room. So it would have to be, I feel like, very flashy, very the opposite of simple to be your money's worth anyway. Because I can't imagine these rooms are going to come at cheap. At a base price for ours at $49.99 for our escape rooms, and that's just the 2-hour ultra experience, like with the immersion and stuff like that. I can't imagine like how expensive this is going to be.
Well, also it said in the article it's only for 2 to 4 people, which is really like cutting it down. Like,
oh wow, that's it. That's right.
I'm almost positive that's because I just read this article.
Yeah, so they're not like opening the window for a whole
so
lot
like
of
that
profit.
also like cuts down on like you can't have a birthday party there. Like you can't.
No, you can't bring a whole bunch of friends.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a very intimate experience, I would say. Just kind of having like a small number of people, and then it's going to be hard to like really capitalize on that profit too, unless you jack those prices up.
Yeah.
So that
especially because you said it's an hour long. So
yep.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty rough.
I think the one virtual reality thing I did, and it was at a resort here in the Poconos, and it was you put on the helmet, you have the gun and the vest, and you go through and you shoot AIs and stuff like that. I believe that was like maybe 50 minutes an hour, and that ended up costing me like $60 a person.
Yeah.
So with this having a brand name on it, I can't even begin to imagine like how expensive it's going to be. But the stories they had in mind, like the picture that I have from here in the Twitch on the stream is actually from the game itself. So it looks like they put a whole lot of work into it, and it looks like it's going to look really good. But I don't know if it's going to be 100% worth the experience. And then over 200 locations. I'm still stuck on that. Quietly opening 200 locations worldwide, and I think on their website and on the articles, there's a map of all the locations that they're opening up in.
It's pretty insane. Especially because they said in the article this is like a team of 20 people working on it, so that's insane for.
20 people opened 200 locations, and that's got to be round the clock work. I'm boggling myself over how do you quietly open 200 locations. How do you do that under the rug?
And with the Assassin's Creed name, like that's a pretty big name.
Yeah, people would be looking out for stuff like that. They've put out a large number of games, but they still have a dedicated fan base, and it blows my my mind away that they can just kind of like quietly go to 200 locations and make deals and open these locations and create the sets. And which the sets, have you ever been to a virtual reality game? Do you know what it looks like when you take the helmet off?
No.
So it's crazy. It's just a concrete room with a bunch of taped off boxes, and I guess the boxes are supposed to represent where you are in the game, for the game master to be able to tell like how far you've progressed and stuff like that. So they have to find 200 spaces big enough to fit their hour-long game, 200 contracts that they have to sign. No one posted to social media about this. There wasn't a leak or anything. And I guess they had the advantage, too, being the big company that they are already. It's not like this is a small company that's jumping into these things. This is Ubisoft, and they came into this with money in their pockets already. So maybe it's not that insane. Maybe just because I'm not a business owner or anything like that, it just seems insane to me. But what do you guys think? We have one opinion, and that's an opinion I can actually kind of agree with. But what does everyone else think? Love to hear it in the comments. But if you have nothing else to add,
that's pretty good.
All right, well done.
And we hope you'll join us next time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't below. Like, comment, subscribe.